Hi everyone, welcome aboard the Leadership Boat. Today we're talking about 3 reasons why your team might be underperforming, why your performance is plummeting, and what you can do about it. So if you're in a situation where your team is performing very poorly, there are mainly 3 reasons why that might be happening. So the first reason has to do with your process, with how you work. It might be that your process is a huge bottleneck into driving performance, and if that's the case, we've already talked about how is it that you can improve the efficiency of your processes, and I'm going to leave that linked down below. So your processes can be either too incomplete or or excessively complete. So you can kind of sin here both ways. You can have not a process in place, which allows for a lot of mistakes to happen, or you can have a process that has so many steps that things stop being efficient and effective. So your processes are the first thing you want to look into. And your processes are not just work process or communication processes, is essentially how you work. So it might be that even your structure and how you are organized in the small teams or in the small task forces, it might be that even that is not necessarily helpful. So you can look at it from a micro perspective into a specific process of doing a certain job, and you can also look at it from a more organizational perspective. What is our structure doing to our performance? Is it helping us to be performing, or is it actually preventing us and hindering our performance? So you can look at it from these more micro and slightly micro perspectives, and really identify what is the impact that the processes that you have in place or not is having in your performance. The second thing might be lack of clarity, and lack of clarity in terms of your goal and in terms of how you work together. So maybe you never set expectations with your team, and if you did that, I'm going to just virtually smack you, because you need to do that. You need to set expectations with your team in terms of how you are going to work together. So that can be one thing. You just don't have clear expectations of how you're supposed to work, how you're supposed to handle certain situations. So maybe there's actually something that would be very solvable, and completely a performance issue that would completely disappear if everyone knew that they should look for assistance from their peers, for example. So this could be something that could just disappear like that if everyone knew exactly how they were supposed to work with each other. Also, clarity in terms of the final goal. So oftentimes I see this in teams. They define these KPIs, they define these OKRs, they have these metrics, and when you ask them about why they have those metrics, either they don't know why they have those metrics, or they say something that oftentimes is not directly being measured with that specific metric and that specific goal. So the goal is not necessarily contributing to it. So taking a step back and looking at exactly what is the goal, what is the end vision, what is the end purpose of all of the work that you're having, and being very clear about that helps you to identify what is the work that you should be doing, what are the things you should be measuring, and the things that you should not be doing, and the things that you should not be measuring. I see a lot of teams that have way too many metrics that matter for nothing, and way too many activities going on, and most of them don't add any value to the proposition that they want to achieve. So it might be that you have this lack of clarity, and therefore you're just going in different directions. So you're not performing together in the same direction, and therefore your performance seems like it's going very down, but actually your team is very busy, just busy with things that don't necessarily matter. So that's kind of the second thing that you want to check. And the third thing is the ability of your team to perform that task. And by ability, I mean both having the skills needed to perform it and having the confidence to perform it. So if your team, if you have people who are highly skilled, but they do not have the confidence to make certain decisions that are needed for that goal to be achieved, for that work to be done, then they're not going to make those decisions. If they don't feel confident that they can do it, then they will do it less. It's not that they will not do anything, but they will do less. And the same way, if you have people who are not skilled, maybe they actually don't have any problem with their confidence. They're quite confident in their abilities. However, they do need to have a certain type of skill that they don't have, and therefore the work that they do is lacking in skill, and therefore you don't achieve that result. So these are the three reasons, the three main reasons why your team might be underperforming. It might be you have your processes that either they are too bureaucratic with too many steps and they are decreasing your productivity and decreasing your performance, or you don't have them in place, so you keep making the same mistakes over and over again. That might be the case. It might be that you lack clarity on exactly what is it that you're moving towards, and therefore you're just measuring random things and doing random things and not even being able to evaluate your performance properly because you are relying on metrics that really don't translate your real performance. So having this clarity about where is it that you want to go and exactly what are the metrics and what are the activities that really lead you towards that direction, that might be the second reason why your team is underperforming. And finally, the ability of your team to deliver the work that they're supposed to deliver in terms of skill and in terms of confidence. So I hope this helped to identify potential reasons why your team is not performing. The next step is to find solutions. I am going to leave some links below to other episodes where we did talk about finding solutions and about creating solutions that make sure that the mistakes don't happen again and that prevent the same mistakes from happening repeatedly. So I'm going to leave that link down below. Thank you for being here, and I will catch you on the next wave.